Good. Well, good day. Thanks for joining me, Dan and Gary. I really wanted to try and get this session together because Gary and I have been talking about some of the new tech on the market, and you introduced me to Dan a little while ago, and he did a presentation to me on Hygienius, and I thought, wow, this product is different. You're coming into a very busy CRM recruitment market, but you seem to be offering something that's a little bit different. So I thought we have this session to find out a little bit more about where you are and what you do. And I guess my first question to you, Dan, is where's the motivation in this? This is a challenge for this crowded market. Where were the drivers to create another? All the headaches of trying to create something.
Dave, you know what's funny, right? When Dan approached me about 3 years ago, that was my first question to him. I was like, why are you doing this, right? There are so many companies in this market, and it's competitive. Why are you doing this? Stick to recruitment. But go on, Dan.
Yeah, so look, thanks for having me, first of all, Simon. I think, where do you find the motivation? I think it changes every day.
Yeah.
Right. The ups and the downs of building or founding or running any business, right? But I think if I take a step back and to Gary's point, with my experience both as a recruiter and a recruitment business owner for almost 20 years, and I used a lot of the different kind of tools out there, I think it can be done better. And I think that's ultimately why. And my frustration, there are many frustrations I had, right? Is that there's such cool tech out there, other industries are leveraging. Why are we as an industry so far behind the curve in many ways? Also, a lot of the platforms I used or had to try and beat my consultants up to use were just not intuitive. They seem to be built and designed by developers in the 90s, and a lot of them founded and run by individuals that were never in recruitment. So for me, that translated down into a really poor experience, and it just didn't actually help the recruiter. We feel that tech should not slow the recruiter down, right? It should be serving the recruiter. And I just felt it was the other way around. My core CRM doesn't do these different things. It's got all these different gaps and functionality. I've got to go out there and start researching all these other products to fill in those gaps. And then it just ends up creating a headache. And it's quite funny. I saw a company today, I'm not going to mention any names, and they were looking for, in their network, anyone that knew a developer that could develop APIs into a competitor CRM, because over the next year and a half, they've got 15 different tools the business wants to integrate into that CRM. And I'm like, oh my God, that is just a nightmare, and the risk it's going to cause. And why would you want to train your consultants on all those different tools? So I think the world went from, be really focused, right? Just do one thing and do it really, really well. And I think that serves true definitely in recruitment, right? If you're working a market. But there's a big trend in technology nowadays where you've got these enterprise-wide kind of platforms. It's kind of all in one platform, because I think there's a lot of fatigue in trying to bolt on all these little things. If you're looking at digital banks nowadays, they're offering you, if you want a bank account, we can do that. If you want a credit card, we can do that. If you want to trade crypto, we can do that. Wealth manager, we can do that, as opposed to having 5 or 6 different relationships. So I just felt, in short, big opportunity for better tech that actually help the recruiter. And the other big thing that we want to leverage and really drive into our business is just the quality of customer care. And I think there's a massive opportunity for growth there, because I've been on the receiving end, right? And I think that there's a lot of noise on LinkedIn right now regarding other providers where that's fallen away. And you may have a great product, but if you're seen not to care, and you're ignoring your customers and not giving them the service, they're going to go. And I think we want to see our customers as advocates ultimately, and that's the challenge. That's our kind of goal.
So before we sort of talk about some of the constituent parts or USPs of the product, what type of company is this designed for? Is it solo recruiters, or is it Michael Page and Robert Walters, either end of the scale? Where's your sweet spot, do you think?
I think from a technology stack point of view, it's robust enough to support a Michael Page because we're built on Salesforce, and Salesforce, some people know of it, some people don't. For people that don't, it's one of the world's fastest growing tech companies. They've got something like 150,000 companies on the platform, the FTSE 500, etc. So it's very robust, very scalable, and very secure. So we don't have to worry about that. But when it comes to ourselves as a business and the types, we're kind of very much aligned for the small to large. I think what we're doing right now is starting off step by step in those businesses that are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and going up to the hundreds. But we've got customers who are, the solopreneur, the micropreneur, the 1 to 5. That's also not a problem at all. I think it's not about numbers of users. It's about the complexity of the business. We're talking to a customer right now that's got 150 users. They've got their CRM they use right now, and they've got a VoIP solution. That's it. I spoke to a 9-person business, right? That's got 4 brands, 4 websites, all sorts of other things. That's not for us, because that's just way too complex, right? So it's more about the complexity of the customer as opposed to users.
And you've got one of the things that you shared with me. You've joined up some of the tools that one needs in what I would call modern day recruitment, but you bolted it all under one umbrella. You haven't got to go elsewhere to get some add-ons. So can you talk about some, as well as the CRM, the constituent parts that fall under the Hygienius umbrella?
Yeah, sure. So I feel as a recruiter, the core tool that you use, okay, there should be things as standard, okay? So communication, ultimately, that's what a recruiter is paid to do and should be doing all day long, right? So why is that an afterthought? So what we did in the platform is we've integrated voice, SMS, WhatsApp, and email. Now, what we've also done with it is all of those, every piece of communication with every candidate and every client is in one place. So on a candidate page or a client's page, you've got like a feed in the middle. Every interaction with that individual across your business is in one place. So through the platform, it comes with a virtual mobile number. They can receive phone calls through it, SMS and WhatsApp. There's a mobile app. So they download that to their phone. They can access all the communication from there. Everything is synced into the platform and it's secure. And that data is protected, it's tracked, there's transparency, and it's not lost if someone leaves the business. And that's the beauty of it. But it's just very efficient, especially with remote working. We've also got really powerful search built into the platform. We've also got a really powerful and fully customizable analytics suite, which is the Salesforce piece. We've got an ATS solution built in, which is really intuitive and very logical. And it has kind of a best-in-class recruitment process built in. So you can be a rookie or a recruitment genius, and you've got everything you need to do and every tool that you'll need to support that part of the process built in. And we've got a very clean UI that just makes using the platform a pleasure. And it's not like, oh my God, what are all these millions of fields? So as standard, we replace up to 8 products in a recruiter's tech stack and can save them up to, if we've got this many products, right? If they've got that many products, up to 2.5K per year per consultant. So that's a big saving.
It's worth remembering also, Simon, we built this in a world where we realized people were going to be working remotely as well. right? And most of these systems have been built 10, 15 years ago. When we built this, we realized the world had changed. And if you are working remotely and you need some advice about making a phone call, or you want to track something, if you can go to one place and say, right, I want to canvass a candidate or close a candidate or how to qualify a job spec, if they go to our platform, they can just look, get questions and answers, give you an idea of what you can and what you shouldn't do, and give you some tips on how to work that. So we built this on the view that if you're either working in an office, which is great, but if you're working remotely, you don't feel that, you know, you're going to struggle to find the best way to do things. So it really was that in mind. And if I'm a business owner, if you said to me when I run a business 5 years ago, even, that people are going to be working remotely and access to the database and be able to do that, I would have said, no way. I don't want no one touching my database. We now realize if you want to be successful as a business, you have to offer flexibility. We built the platform with that in mind. So it's fair to say we built this during COVID. And when we built this, therefore, it's been positioned to reflect the changing world that we're in now.
That's such a good point. What I like with people working from home, and with all the data being in one place, because people are using WhatsApp now to get hold of candidates and clients, and they're doing that on their phones. And you know, one of the biggest threats in growing businesses is some of your consultants buggering off and starting themselves and taking all those little bits of data.
Yeah, but also if there's an issue, you know, you've got an audit trail.
Yeah.
You know, so if there's been a bit of a discrepancy around a salary or a rate that was offered and it's on a consultant's WhatsApp, their own personal device, and they've gone, it's a nightmare. But I think in recruitment, before you speak to a candidate or a client, you want to know the full picture.
Yeah.
And the issue is with current solutions, because communication is done outside, consultants are either too busy or they just can't be bothered or see the value in adding summary notes onto the system, right? Yeah. So you just don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
It's not even, also think about this, Simon. So I do a lot, you know, I run a business with 3,000 staff and I do advisory work at the moment. And when you go around and look at businesses and say, right, show me your KPIs and what you're tracking and the one thing a lot of businesses track is telephone times, right?
Yeah.
And so, look, my phone times are, I'm doing a minimum 2 hours outbound calls, etc., etc. But in a world now where, hold on, telephone is only one part of the communication, right? People are doing SMSs, they're sending WhatsApp, they're sending. We're able to say, look, let's look at the best in class. What are your best in class consultants doing? They're doing maybe 1 hour, 1 hour and a half phone time. They're doing X amount of SMSs. They do Y amount of WhatsApp, X amount of emails. So you can now get a truer picture of what an effective recruitment consultant's doing, as opposed to saying it's 2 hours outbound calls.
Yeah.
And so to me, as a manager, I'd like to be able to look at my team and go, okay, who's being productive? And sometimes you go, oh, no one's on the phone, but they might be doing an amazing messages going out, or their communication on WhatsApp might be amazing. And they don't get valued because it's like, oh, you've got to be on the phone.
It's changed. Yeah. And it's like, you know, people want to communicate with their kind of business world in the same way they do with their friends and family. And I think that's ultimately what's happened, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's good. One of the challenges, and I'm speaking from experience here, one of the challenges of people, they know they want to change their CRM system, but the people are just dead scared of A, making the decision and what do I choose? B, what about the transition? What about migration of data? You know, I ran away from that for 2 years while I was doing my earnout when I sold Principal People, because I just thought I can't afford any downtime. We've got a rubbish system. We need to change, and they're doing it now. I mean, painful, but they're doing it now.
I think that's you know, a real big point. And I've been on the receiving end. You know, I had a business for almost 20 years, had 50, 60 guys working for me. I think we went through 4 or 5 CRMs over those years. And it can go well if you've got the right partner, but it can go horribly wrong if it does go wrong. And it's very disruptive, especially when it comes to data not being in the right place or just poor adoption. So I know that when I started this journey, it's all good and well having this great idea, but you need the people, the talent to execute that journey, right? And bring that vision to reality. So we are very blessed to have an amazing client services team. And the lady that runs that, she's been doing, recruitment CRM migrations for 10 years, and she's done hundreds of them.
Okay.
We've invested heavily in a cloud-based toolkit that has all the scripts that we've designed that bring across data from, competitor platforms into HireGenius. And we've got good experience in doing that now. So again, we've automated a lot of that. So that's we've not had an issue there. And I think that the key is that it is a scary thing, and we handhold a customer the whole way through. And one of my frustrations I would have in buying a piece of tech is, I get sold the tech by the salesperson. I've built that relationship with the individual. They then disappear. I then get passed off to like a third-party company I've never heard of, or someone else internally. Have to go through everything again. They do their bit. Then I get passed on to like a customer service person, and I just didn't like that. So what we've done is that, when someone wants to come on board with us, we'll manage all that data migration and everything ourselves, and we'll only go live once they're happy. But at the same point in time, your customer success person will be with you the whole way, holding your hands from pre-go live to go live. And then when it comes to the training piece, we're heavily involved there. But from when you go live, we have a 3-month health check where we're checking in with the business and the consultants on a week-to-week basis. And we're actually signing off each consultant on adoption. Okay. And we're doing things like certificates and gamification. And then after that point, we are doing quarterly strategic reviews with the customer. And 2 of those are on site and 2 of those are remote. And we can be more involved if the customer needs to be. But ultimately, there's no point in someone going for this if their consultants have not been trained and are adopting it. Cool. And I think that's the bit people are missing right now is, they'll get trained and then their supplier kind of disappears.
Yeah. You've just covered one of my questions, actually, because I was going to ask about that. That you've got the decision process, then you've got data, and when you go live or you're about to go live, that training element. And I think, Gary, you sort of gave some indications about for the juniors, if they're working from home, there's areas of tips and guidance on scripts and on what to look for and what to ask for. That having had that built into the system, can people edit that if they've got different processes and what?
Yeah, that we've got right now a standard process built in with how you qualify a candidate, etc. And then in Q1 you're going to be able to edit that. Yeah. But most customers are using that because a lot of customers, right, haven't even got anything like that. It took me 6 months with a trainer.
They've got a book, haven't they?
Thousands of pounds to document our process. So we give that to our customers on soft copy too, so they can edit that. Yeah,
that's cool. And that's a bit of a beauty about being in business for 20 years, And what type of companies you're really? I think you told me you're launching big time in January, aren't you? But you've got some people all lined up already. What type of businesses are signing up? Are they tech businesses? Are people embracing this? What type of markets are you supporting with a few of those new clients? We don't need to have names, but
we got customers who are sort of 1 person up to 50, and we're talking to bigger guys right now. But traditionally, perm and contract. Yeah, we're not ready for the high volume temp market. So if you're looking for like a shift scheduling solution, we don't have that, right? So for us, it's more around the kind of white collar perm contract. Type piece, but life sciences, IT, digital, finance, they're
accountancy, law.
Law,
So really, it's anyone who does recruitment, perm and contract.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, moving on to, you don't need to quote commercial costs now, but if you can offer my team members something of an incentive, that'd be really keen to do that. I know you're coming on the hub shortly, so they'll be able to have a look at you and profile that and download some of the information that you've sent me already. And if you will either put this video, I want to be good if you could do a video, Dan, which gave a bit more detail about the products and the
we're actually pulling together an interactive video, so you can click on different buttons on the screen and see different parts of the platform.
Okay.
So that will give a demo. In Q1, we're going to be offering, we can talk to your members around a real good deal on implementation and adoption.
Fantastic.
So happy to look at that, because that is a big cost.
Excellent. Yeah.
So we're happy to do a real good deal on that point of view for anyone that's interested.
Brilliant. Well, I'm really excited about getting Hygenius into team. I think you fit a gap for some of those products on the market, even though it is that busy market. So really welcome to team. We'll get together and get you on the hub so that people can understand a bit more about the product. And I'm going to send this out to a few of our key members who I think would be the right avatar for Hygenius. Thank you very much indeed, guys.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Simon. Much appreciated.